again, friends! Welcome back to Books and Coffee, where I discuss books that I have read and recommend them to you all. And we always rate them with cups of coffee, because coffee is amazing. Alrighty, well, let's get started. So for today's video, I am going to be reviewing the book called Belle, and it was written by Cameron Doke. So before we get into the book, I want to take a little time to talk about Miss Cameron Doke. So she was actually born on January 1st, 1956. And as of my research, she is residing in Seattle, Washington. So Miss Doke actually grew up reading a bunch of classical literature and mythology. And most of that is due to her dad being a professor. At what school, I'm not 100% sure. Really didn't dig too deep into my research, and what I found was just kind of like, of the surface, which is fine. Some people just want their privacy, and you know what? My cup to ya. So once Miss Cameron grew up, and of course being influenced by all of the books that she read, she had a huge desire to write, and therefore began her writing adventure. And it was in 2008 that she published the book Belle, which is a retelling of the classical tale of Beauty and the Beast. So why Belle? Well, plain and simple, this is, well, not this book in particular, but the Disney movie happens to be my favorite Disney movie. Belle is also my favorite Disney princess. So, yeah. Obviously, it's for many, many reasons. I love the story. I love the music. I love the animation. I love everything about that movie. So, it holds a little special place in my heart. But the biggest reason for me is Belle herself. She has that drive of wanting, adventure and, pushing against societal norms. Like, she doesn't want to get married and settle down. She wants to go off. She wants to have adventures. And yes, I personally feel like Belle wouldn't regard marriage or, obviously, and just be like, no, I'm never getting married. No, I feel like it's one of those where she's a lot like me in the retrospect that, yes, marriage, that sounds wonderful. Not right now. Like, there's so much I want to do, so much I want to see, so much I want to experience, and I want to experience that before I get married, before, you tie yourself down somewhere. Not to say that, with you marrying somebody, it's, you're anchoring yourself to that one specific place, but I mean, for Belle, especially like in the time era that we're talking about, yeah, no, you do, it happens. So that's why I was intrigued by this book. Another reason why I chose this book was the different yet not so different version of Belle in this book. And what I mean by that is that it's a retelling of the story. So obviously Miss Doke had some inspiration, not just from her previous background and even from the original fairy tale content of when the story was originally written, the origin and all that. But obviously it has, some pull from Disney and all this other stuff. So yeah, so just the subtle difference, the difference retelling. So the way Belle is portrayed in this book, well, no spoilers in this part, but just to kind of give you an example, she's still that strong-willed character that we all know and love, but in this book they show kind of a softer side to it. And not only that, but there's a really interesting fear and flaw that she has in this book that actually really ties in with the curse itself, which kind of actually brings me to my third point as to why I chose this book. And that happens to be the difference of the story, or the way the story is told, right down to how the curse was cast, how the curse works, and even how to break the curse. Again, no spoilers, because this really is a book that I want you all to experience for yourself. But it's just it's so fascinating, and it's one of those where it's like, you think you know where it's going because, we know the fairy tale, but Miss Doki does a fantastic job of just making the story her own, and, kind of like letting us experience it new and fresh as well. Obviously, there's a beast. Obviously, there's Belle. And then, of course, there's the fantasy side of it all, with some notable changes, though, I will say. Again, not going to say nothing because, y'all need to read it. I ain't going to give you the whole book, I tend to do that a lot, so sorry. Another thing that I really liked about this retelling of Beauty and the Beast is the way it was written. Miss Doki has a very beautiful way of writing that it's not so descriptive heavy, but it's also not lacking in the description or basically anything that helps you to get through a book, in terms of just having everything flow very naturally, very calming and soothing. And as you can tell, it's a very thin book, so it's a very quick read, very small read. I think I read this in an afternoon, but it was just a really nice, calm read. Obviously a big page turner, but the way Miss Cameron Doki writes is very beautiful. So from this point on, there might be some spoilers, I'm not gonna lie, just because there's just so much. It's such a little book. You could tell. Look, it's so tiny. But there's just so much in this book that I really want to touch on. So if you haven't read the book and you would love to read the book, then I would definitely skip to the very end of the video. Just skip this part. Just skip it. Don't watch it. And then after you read the book, you come back and rewatch it, and then you can either agree or disagree with me with my next opinions on this part. But so fair warning, there's so many reasons why this book just captivated me. One of them being, again, kind of a view into Belle's little personal life. And what I mean by that is they actually get into her family. So original fairy tale versus this retelling is that she has both her parents and she actually has siblings. And so you get to kind of see Belle, how, you get to see this Belle in what she would look like in a family dynamic. How different is she from her sisters? Which is actually really, really interesting, because she has a sister who's super proper, very Victorian lady, wants to get married, wants to do, have kids, the whole shebang, wants to be a lady of the house. And then you've got another sister of hers who's kind of adventurous, but not really. She's one of those where, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. It's one of those where it's she says that she wants to do something and then doesn't do it. She's very shy, and oh, he moved. But anyway, the sister, the younger one, I think, is it the younger one or the middle one? I don't know. She's got two sisters though, but the other sister, is just one of those where it's she craves adventure, but she also is so sheltered that she just is kind of there. And then you have Belle, obviously, who is, again, very adventurous, wants more out of life, is definitely improper, and is very proud of that fact. And she kind of talks about it with her parents and stuff, and how she has to be super proper, she has to dress up, but it's always one of those where in a subtle way, the Miss Doki, the way she writes it is that, Belle could have been off writing or, playing around in the mud or something, or doing something that a lady shouldn't be doing. And then next thing you know, it's tea time and she's cleaned herself up AKA, she like quickly, you know, washed her face, put on a new dress, but her boots are still dirty. So, you know, like stuff like that. And I love it. I absolutely love this kind of version of Belle because, again, she's still the very lovely, beautiful character that I know her from, like the Disney movie and other stories very similar to her, you know, the other tellings of it. And I really appreciate this kind of like new kind of like mischievous Belle. She loves getting into trouble, and it's really fun. It's really fun to watch this new Belle go through this adventure. You know, go through getting, you know, trading herself for her father. Obviously, that still happens. And so kind of just, you know, watching this mischievous girl go through this and then having to kind of grow up. And what I mean by like grow up is that she realizes that she's taken on this responsibility when she trades herself with her dad, when the beast captures her. And it's one of those where she realizes like, I can't be playful or, you know, be kind of carefree as I was back home. I'm now trapped here with this beast and I have to figure it out. But she still has her fun, mischievous side. But that's where like that fear/flaw that I talked about earlier, that's where that comes in. I won't spoil that at all because that is a very interesting fear and flaw that I would love for you all to experience yourself when you read the book. So another little teeny spoiler, again, I won't go too much into it because I, again, would love for you all to experience it yourself. But the way the beast originally gets cursed and then how the curse works and then how it's broken is so interesting. The way that the beast gets cursed is actually not revealed until the very, very end of the book, which I thought was super cool because, again, you think you know how he got cursed, right? Like he pissed off a witch and, you know, because he called her ugly. I mean, okay, let's be real. Who wouldn't be pissed if, you know, some rich butthead was all like, you're ugly? Yeah, no, totally would curse him. Anyway, you know, we think we know how he got cursed, but then you read how he gets cursed in this story, and it's just one of those where it's like, what? Like that's, I never saw that coming. Like it's one of those words like, whoa, the cool. As, you know, she's with him in the castle and stuff, and she's getting to know him and all this other jazz, you come to find out that she can't see his face. She could see everything else in his body, you know, the fur, the claws, whatever, but she can't ever see his face. His face is super, it's like, it's blurred out. She can't, yeah. And it's so fascinating. Again, this connects to her fear and flaw that, again, well, I will not spoil. I promise you guys, I will not spoil because you have to read it. I'm definitely saying you have to read this book. Because it's interesting on how this curse works, and and her flaw/fear, along with her not being able to see the prince's face, all kind of coincides with how she with how she learns how to break the curse. And that part is just like, it's so simple, but yet so mind-boggling and very hard for her. And it is one of those where it's like you sympathize with her, but at the same time, you're just like, just do it already. But yes, that is the my book review on the story of Belle, which is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast by Miss Cameron Doakey. You could definitely get this at your local bookstore, or you could buy it digitally, however you choose to read. In terms of rating, I'm definitely going to give it a 5 out of 5 coffee cups. Wow. It's been a long day. This is why it's the second cup of coffee. But yes, so thank you so much for joining me again on another Books and Coffee video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed and liked the first video. My heart is overjoyed, and I can't tell you how much how much that means to me, and how excited I am to continue this awesome journey with you guys. I'm so looking forward to it. But yeah, so get ready for the third book, because that one's gonna be a real treat for all of my ladies out there. I won't exclude the guys too, I know some of you. So yeah, but hey, I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you next time.